Manchester United face rival City in the FA Cup final on Saturday, with the champions looking to complete the domestic double. Erik ten Hag, meanwhile, is hoping to end a miserable season with his second major trophy in 2 seasons.
City, under Pep Guardiola, have been one of the most consistent and dominant teams that we have seen in English football, maybe ever. And despite securing the league title on the last day of the season, they will still be playing with a sense of something to prove, having been knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid.
Since that shootout exit, we have seen City look truly impressive against domestic opposition, although Tottenham should perhaps have taken something from the game. While City will come into this final in a good position with their star players available and in form, the same cannot be said of United.
Read more on Man U. TDMASON lists Manor Greenwood puts 6-bed home up for rent in latest sign. H is quitting United. Eurovision play our bracket challenge game for free ahead of this summer's Euros. Throughout the season, Ten Hag has struggled to keep his squad fit with recurring injuries to key players in key positions, forcing players to play out of position. This week has also caused unrest at United, with the England coach Gareth Southgate naming his squad for Euro 2024 and leaving out Marcus Rashford, hardly the ideal preparation coming into this match.
There are, however, some positives for Red Devils fans. From a tactical perspective, United actually have the capacity to cause City problems with their pace and willingness to be direct in terms of creating 1v1 opportunities in the wide areas. Most read in football are Beauty Rooney nears management return, with legend in contention for new role. Touch and go Tuchel frontrunner for Man United job and joins axed Pochettino on shortlist. Greal deal Bayern Munich lineup sensational swoop for Grealish under ex-City star company. Free agent forgotten former England star wakes up unemployed aged 34 after H has released best free bet sign-up offers for UK bookmakers. The issues for United, however, will come at the other end.
Ten Hag and his coaching staff are going to have to come up with some ideas to prevent City from maintaining constant possession and penetrating the final third and penalty area. Exclusive. Harry Maguire previews FA Cup clash against Man City. There are 3 key areas that United will need to address and conjure up a game plan for if they are going to win the FA Cup final, which would also secure them a Europa League spot.
Pressurize RODRI. There can be little doubt that Rodri should have at the very least been in contention for the end-of-season awards. He has been one of the very best players in the league over the course of the domestic and European season.
As the number 6 at the base of the midfield in Pep Guardiola's 4-3-3 system, the Spanish international plays a key role in ensuring City dominate the ball and force the opposition backwards. The problem that teams have when they come up against a player in Rodri's position who has his quality and ability on the ball is that he is extremely difficult to defend against.
If you try to get tight to him, then you're effectively leaving space elsewhere that City can exploit, and Rodri excels when receiving possession and playing on limited touches to move and progress the ball. If you try to sit off him, however, and stay tight and compact in front of the ball as a defensive unit, then you are inviting the Spaniard to find a way to outplay your defensive structure.
This is especially dangerous for opposition teams when combined with the movement and attacking intent that we see from Rodri's more attack-minded teammates. So, how best can you defend against Rodri, and what should United do this coming weekend to limit the effectiveness of City's midfield general? The key is not to play just one way against him.
You shouldn't consistently sit off and give him time, but nor should you press tight constantly. The key is to do both, but to understand how to vary your approach in order to keep him off guard.
Applying moments of pressure with intensity to Rodri can unbalance and disrupt City in possession, but doing so consistently will just see City players find space elsewhere. Choose your pressure triggers carefully and have players with energy, like Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes, to dip in and out wide, applying pressure to the ball, and you will develop a better overall strategy against the ball.
Rodri will without a doubt be one of the keys to the match for Manchester City, and as such he needs to be stopped and dealt with effectively by the United midfield structure. Man United transfer news live. All the latest deals and rumours from Old Trafford stop Phil Foden. If Rodri was one of the best players in football over the course of the 2023-24 season, then there is a very real prospect that Phil Foden was the best over that time period.
The Stockport-born attacking player has developed into one of the key players for City, having initially been used sparingly by Guardiola when he was a younger player. Indeed, for a period of time there was a suggestion amongst fans and media alike that Guardiola's handling of Foden was holding him back.
That suggestion has been well and truly put to bed now, as Foden has developed into a generational talent. He is exceptionally difficult to defend against because his role and position for City is so hard to define.
Whether he plays from the wide positions or more centrally as a number 8 or even a number 10, he still drifts across the final third and finds little pockets of space to receive the ball in from where he can hurt the opposition. To stop Foden is going to take a team effort, but in recent weeks on loan midfielder and Moroccan international Soyvan Amrabat has been displaying the ability to defend spaces in the midfield.
Foden is so good on the turn and on his first touch, though, that the best way to stop him is by applying pressure further up and stopping him from getting on the ball. While Foden has the ability and positional awareness to be able to find spaces between the lines to receive the ball, United will have to close these spaces by defending in a compact shape and making themselves difficult to break down.
Taking away the positions in the final third that Foden likes to receive the ball in will at least slow down, if not completely stop, Foden from being effective. Cut service to Haaland. It is staggering to think that the narrative across the season was that Erling Haaland was having a poor season at points.
That poor season, however, still saw the Norwegian international forward score 38 goals in 44 games across all competitions. This was despite some games in which he did have big misses. The issue with a player like Haaland, though, is that when he is missing these chances he is still getting into good positions to score and he does not let a miss affect him.
Haaland is, of course, a huge threat in the area, and his movement and ability to constantly keep himself alive and in space in the area is second to none. He is also, however, a striker that can be deadly when he is allowed to run off the last defender to attack space between the defensive line and the goalkeeper.
There is a chance for Manchester United that their Argentinian international Lisandro Martinez will be fit to start the match, and despite his lack of height, in comparison to Haaland, he will be aggressive and competitive in defending against Haaland and preventing him from getting easy service into the area. Similar to Foden in a way, the key to stopping these kinds of opportunities for Haaland may well be for United to squeeze the game and apply pressure higher up to stop City having easy possession.
That is very much easier said than done though. Read more. Sun STORIESAIR. We go first major UK airport to scrap 100ml liquid hand luggage rules next week. ISLE. See you soon. Love Island. Sign hunky footballer who's friends with show legend. Conclusion. If United are to beat their City rivals this weekend and lift the FA Cup, then they will need a performance that tops anything else that they have given so far this season. City do, however, have key players, and stopping them from being able to play their natural game should at least go some way to achieving this.
Why Man United must win FA Cup. Erik ten Hag says Manchester United must pay back their world-class fans with an FA Cup triumph after their awful league season, writes Tom Balke. United came 8th, which was their lowest ever finish, despite winning 2-0 on the final day at Brighton.
They also came away from a miserable campaign with a negative goal difference, but still can win a trophy when they take on Manchester City in next week's cup final. The away fans roared themselves hoarse, just as they have done all term despite the poor results.
Boss Ten Hag said, "We have the best fans in the world, and I mean this. I have never had this experience when you have a season like us, which is by far not good enough, that the supporters are with us. They are with us in the bad season, and in bad times they are there. I think also they know why the bad times are there.
But we have to pay them back, and we have to do everything to give them a trophy next week, but also for the future, we have to perform better." United won thanks to late goals from Diogo Dalot and Rasmus Højlund. But for the second game running, Højlund began the match on the bench as United opted for a false 9, in a hint over how United will set up in the cup final.
That was how they played in March's 3-1 defeat to City at the Etihad in the League, too. Ten Hag added, "It's a luxury problem. Both formations can be a success because we can set up like we did at the Etihad, where we were a threat with movement in behind.
But of course with Rasmus Højlund in this form it's absolutely a consideration and a thought that we have to consider. You need not only 11 players in a tough final but a bench as well." Højlund's tally now stands at 16 goals in his maiden season after the 21-year-old arrived from Atalanta for £72 million last summer.
Reflecting on the Danes' campaign, Ten Hag observed, "It could always be better, but don't forget he had 3 injuries this season. He came in with the injury, missed the start, then he got injured before winter and then he got injured after winter.
So every time that broke his rhythm, and if you then shoot 16 goals for the first season it's okay. And it's not over, we have to play the FA Cup final.